News Hour Special Edition.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a special edition of the News Hour tonight, and it's been another awkward moment for Congress. President Rahul Gandhi in a foreign land, this time in Singapore, during an Indian diaspora event. The Gandhi sign caught on camera, seemingly obfuscating after a direct question was posed to him by an Indian origin economic professor on India's poor per capita income growth during the Nehru-Gandhi regime. Yes, the family regime, ladies and gentlemen. The nation tonight is divided over Rahul Gandhi's response. Was his response satisfactory, or did he duck the question? Take a listen and decide for yourself, because, ladies and gentlemen, on the show tonight, we'll take your calls. It's your view that matters. Listen in to Rahul Gandhi, and then we'll take in your comments.
My name is P.K. Basu. I'm the author of a book called Asia Reborn, the first comprehensive economic and political history of the whole of Asia. And my question is this. I also teach economic history to students in several business schools. My question is this. Why is it that during the years that your family ruled India, India's per capita income was growing less than the world average? And yet, in the years since your family relinquished the Prime Ministership of India, India's per capita income has grown substantially faster than the world average.
Okay, thank you. That's a very sharp, succinct question. So,
and what is your hypothesis?
I asked you the question. I'm here to ask the question.
That's quite...
My hypothesis is in my book. Please read the book. It's called Asia Reborn.
I mean, you're giving a hell of a lot of power to one family.
No,
right?
See,
let me give you
one
sec. Let me give you an alternative.
So, since you asked me back a question, let me just elaborate on the question a bit. At the point of independence, India's per capita income was one of the lowest in the world. India's life expectancy at birth was 32 years, the lowest in the world. Africa's average was 38. So, when you are the poorest country in the world, you should be growing faster than the world average in order to close the gap with the rest of the world.
If I may interrupt.
And unfortunately, during the period of your family's rule,
thank you very much,
India did
Mr.
not
Basu.
achieve that.
Thank you.
That's the question. Why?
Thank you. I mean, there was a sharp question. You can either decide to take it or not.
I can take it if you want.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Do you agree? First of all, do you agree that India is a success today?
Of course.
You do.
A relative success since your family relinquished the Prime Ministership. Yes.
So
since then, not before.
So you're saying, for example, that I had absolutely no role in Indian politics from 2004 to today. You're saying that? Well, make up your mind. Either I have a role or I don't have a role. You can't give me both options.
Please tell us what your role was.
Okay, I'm going to.
The point is that
if I may, let's not have this dialogue. If I may.
Could you answer the question? I mean, the question is.
May I? Okay, please.
Is there an answer to the question?
Okay.
Yes. Please answer the question.
Yes, I've answered the question.
Crisp, clear question.
Hello. I've answered the question. I've answered the question.
All right.
This video, ladies and gentlemen, that you just saw has gone viral, shared, tweeted, retweeted several times on many social media platforms. Several online debates, with some supporting and some slamming the Congress President Rahul Gandhi, are currently underway, and many are left confused about what exactly happened. So I present you the case tonight and help you make an independent decision for yourself. So what was the question that was put across to Rahul Gandhi? Why did India's per capita income grow much less than the world average when the Gandhi family members were ruling India? A simple question that needed a direct answer. But in typical Rahul Gandhi fashion, he chose to answer the question with another question, a response that has the entire nation debating. But the professor who spoke to Times Now earlier today was of the opinion that Rahul Gandhi ducked his question. There were no straight answers from him. There are two sides of this entire coin, of this entire debate. One section of the people are saying that no, Rahul Gandhi dodged the question, diverted the topic and had no answer. While another section says that yes, Rahul Gandhi in fact gave a very smart, a very clever reply, calling out the participants' bluff. This leads me to my legitimate question this evening, ladies and gentlemen. The question, legitimate question tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is for you to answer. Are you satisfied with Rahul Gandhi's reply? If you are, call us and give us your views, because ladies and gentlemen, on the news hour tonight, we are taking in your views. So call us, because we are going to have Professor P.K. Basu on the show. He's going to take your questions, and those questions are going to be coming up in just a bit from now. Opening up the debate, Raga Interrogated. That's the big debate coming up. And joining me this evening on the debate are Gaurav Bhatia, national spokesperson of the BJP, R. Rajagopalan, senior journalist. Also with us, Suresh Nakwa, political analyst, Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, Ashutosh Mishra, senior journalist, Sumant Sriraman, political analyst, and Asif Bhamla, political analyst. Excuse me. And joining me this evening from Singapore is Professor P.K. Basu. Professor P.K. Basu, my straight question goes out to you this evening on the top of this show. Professor Basu, you asked a direct question to Rahul Gandhi on the podium yesterday in Singapore. Do you think Rahul Gandhi took on your question, answered your question, or do you think he ducked it? Let's hear it from you directly.
Of course he ducked it. He had 3 opportunities to answer. On each occasion he ducked. He did not give an answer at all. He came up with a couple of counter questions. And he asked me what my hypothesis was. And of course, it is not for me to say. My hypothesis, as I said, is in my book. So that is basically it. Now, he did not answer at all. Asking a counter question doesn't do the trick. And I think towards the end, he was hinting that that he was perhaps running the government. In 2004 to 2014. I think it was India's great good fortune that he wasn't. Manmohan Singh, I think, did an ultimate act of patriotism by never responding to the many provocations for him to resign. He never resigned, and the fact that he held on to office for the entire 10-year term was an act of great patriotism to this country, and I think we owe him a great deal of gratitude for staying on.
Where did the question of patriotism come in all of this, Professor Basu? You asked him a question on per capita income growth,
yes.
And you talked about the Gandhi family years, and he said, do you think from 2004 to 2014 the Gandhi family did not have a role to play? I thought that was a smart answer.
No, it wasn't at all. He hardly ever attended Parliament in his entire period that Manmohan Singh was Prime Minister. The only intervention that one can remember is the attempted Lokpal bill, where he insulted Manmohan Singh in Parliament, tore things up in Parliament, etc. So now, but the important thing is that even during the period from 1947 to 1980, the 2-year period of fastest economic growth was when Morarji Bhai was Prime Minister. When Morarji Desai was Prime Minister, we had real GDP growth of 6.5%. Rahul Gandhi yesterday tried to claim credit for the Green Revolution. The Green Revolution was brought about by massive institutional reforms under Lal Bahadur Shastri ji. And those reforms were dramatically different from the approach to the agriculture sector that Nehru took. So there was a transformation. It was brought about by the Prime Minister's office under Lal Bahadur Shastri, headed by L.K. Jha. But we have to give credit to Lal Bahadur Shastri ji and to C. Subramaniam, not to Indira Gandhi, Nehru family, etc. So the point is that as soon as this family stopped running the country, the performance improved dramatically. Now, I have seen that on the Twitter page, they have tried to say that India's economic performance improved in 1980. There is no doubt that the economic performance improved in 80 and 89. But during that period, India was driven towards a balance of payments crisis like nothing before. The balance of payments crisis of 1990-91 was by far the most dangerous phase of India's economic performance throughout the modern period. And that was a direct result of Rajiv Gandhi's policies. So to celebrate what happened between 1980 and 89 is something of a joke. And now, now the other thing is, and it's not just the economic policy. We must remember 1962. We must remember the emergency of 1975. But really, most of all, we must remember that when the Azad Hind Fauj was hoisting the flag of India in Moirang in Manipur, Jawaharlal Nehru went to Assam and said, I will fight Subhash Bose if he comes to the rest of India. That is why he became Prime Minister. He was picked by Mountbatten. And Mountbatten indicated to the rest of the country that he was picking him by inviting him to Singapore in March 1946.
I object to this lie. I am putting my displeasure.
These are the facts.
You are getting counters, Professor Basu. Professor Basu, you are getting counters from my panel. You are getting counters from my panel.
Become the first Prime Minister.
He's spoken enough. He's
Million
lied
of
on
India.
the show.
The
There
real
is no-
Prime Minister of India.
Professor,
Okay, 1 minute, Tehsil Kunal.
He's lied about my
Okay, so I'll give you a chance to rebut.
He's lied about my Nehru.
I say Jai Hind.
Jai Hind,
Netaji.
but you cannot lie about my Nehru.
You know, what do you mean by my
He's my
Nehru?
Nehru. He's my first Prime Minister, and there is no historical
I'm
document.
sorry, he was your first.
He was our first. One second.
You don't
Please
even
keep
know
quiet now.
about
I
the
did not
Arzi
speak.
Hukumati Azad Hind.
Doesn't
The Arzi
matter.
Hukumati
Please keep
Azad
quiet
Hind
and let
was
me
established
speak.
here in Singapore.
It's not a monologue.
In the trenches,
There is no.
26,000
I understand from Singapore. He'll have to let other people speak.
26,000
He'll have to let other people speak. He
martyrs
cannot get
gave
away
their
like
Okay,
that.
I'm opening up the debate. I'm
Fought for the
opening up the
Gaddari.
debate.
Let's counter the guy. Let's
Okay,
counter.
you're getting counters,
Let
Professor
me-
Basu.
if he decides to
Professor
keep quiet.
Basu, listen to the counters. Listen to
Yes.
the counters.
Navika.
Let's get the people's view in first. Let's get in the people's view in first before I get my panelists to rebut you, Professor Basu. N.K. Jha calling in at this moment. N.K. Jha, you have a question for Professor Basu. Do you agree with him? Do you agree whether Rahul Gandhi actually ducked the question, or do you disagree with Professor Basu?
Namika, good evening. I've been a businessman for a long time, and I'm by profession also an agriculturist. And I completely disagree with both the people, He was talking about the Green Revolution, which I believe never took up in India very seriously. If you compare the Indian economy in terms of agriculture, we have done poorly bad, maybe Rajiv Gandhi or Narendra Modi. Number two, all the parties, what I see the national debates for the last so many months, they've been fighting on party lines, what we understand and what is the fact of the matter is, we're still so poor, We need to have a very, very cohesive thing. And this gentleman, I don't remember this man, he has been on the channel for the last 2 days. And he's so vociferous in complaining about the Congress party. What is he trying to do? He's trying to expose the political party, has his vested interest. This needs to be investigated. That's
Okay. Okay, okay, N.K. Jha doesn't agree with you, Professor Basu. Another caller, Sukumar from Bengaluru, calling in. Listen to him and then I'll ask you to respond to both the callers. Yes, Mr. Sukumar from Bengaluru, do you agree with Professor Basu?
Yeah, I agree with Professor Basu, and this is nothing new to our Indians, because always he used to duck the questions whichever is asked to him. I have never seen him answer directly to any of the questions. Let Congress party decide how to, what to say, how to make him speak properly in this one, in a diaspora.
All right.
They are not very serious.
All right. It's Even Stevens. Yes. Even Stevens, one caller, N.K. Jha, opposing the views of Professor Basu, Sukumar supporting the views of Professor Basu, Rajiv Marwa calling in from New Delhi. Rajiv Marwa, do you support Professor Basu or do you support Rahul Gandhi? Who do you think made a better response? Rahul Gandhi made a smart reply, or was Professor Basu right, who says Rahul Gandhi ducked his question?
I agree with Professor P.K. Basu, and I have to add that Rahul Gandhi is not capable of answering even a simple question without a cheat note. I bet he doesn't know the meaning of per capita income, and he doesn't know how it is arrived at. He needs lot of tuitions from everybody, especially from his colleague Mr. Tehseen Poonawala, who's always shouting at the top of his voice and giving baseless and arrogant replies. Please tell them he needs lot of things to be done. He is like a Popat Raja, Andher Nagri, not Chopat Raja, but Popat Raja. Take sir bhaji, take sir bhaja. Please give him some tuitions and then bring him on the national level.
All right, Rajiv Marwa, that's your view. That's your view. That's your view. Let me get in Ravi from Bengaluru again. Ravi, what do you think? Which side are you on? Professor Basu's side or Rahul Gandhi's side?
Of course, I'm on Basu's side. Do you think, during Manmohan's period, when they made an amendment, he tore that amendment. Okay, do you think anybody will have the guts to tear it and come out without any glitch? Okay, he had the guts to do that. And do you think any MP or any MLA from anywhere in this country can do that? And he was the de facto prime minister, and his mom was he and his mom was the de facto prime minister at the time, and not Manmohan Singh. And you should tell Mr. Poonawala and stop talking nonsense about that, okay?
All right. Your views taken on board. Samir from Mumbai calling in. Samir, which side are you on?
I'm with Mr. Basu, ma'am.
Okay.
Anytime.
Okay. And what do you think?
See, Mr. Basu is perfectly correct on Nehru as well as Subhash Chandra Bose. And Mr. Poonawala should keep quiet, I suppose, at least on this matter. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know history.
Okay.
At least I don't know WhatsApp history.
Atul from New Delhi also calling in. Atul, what do you think?
I think Professor Basu is absolutely correct. And I think that this response was absolutely ridiculous. For a very sharp question from Dr. Basu, the answer should also have been very, very sharp. I think to put a counter question or whatever, it is never a smart way to respond for a person who is aspiring to be the Prime Minister of the biggest democracy in the world.
Okay. All right. Last caller I'm taking in this segment, Christopher from Bengaluru. Before I open up this debate, I will come back to my callers later on in the show. So keep calling, keep sending in your calls. But I'm going across to Christopher from Bengaluru. Christopher, which side are you on? Rahul Gandhi?
Yeah. It's kind of a little bit of a joke, I get to see, whenever I see Rahul Gandhi's interview, it kind of makes me laugh. I've never seen him answer a single question directly. I've never seen him answer a single question directly. Even with an interview with Arnav, I remember, that became a viral joke all over the country. So, I mean, wherever he goes, he just embarrasses himself. I suggest he stop giving any interview nowadays. It's a very straight and simple way of basically making a mockery of himself. That's my only suggestion I would make.
All right, Christopher, thank you very much for joining us on the News Hour this evening. We'll open up the calls once again later in the show, but right now I'm going across to my panelists. And as I open up this debate, Professor Basu, one caller who was against your point of view, the others seem to be standing in unison with you, questioning Rahul Gandhi. Obviously. But as I open up this debate, it's open for everybody. We'll take in callers, we'll take in panelists. But first, let me go across to Tehseen Poonawalla, who's been wanting to make a point and contradict PK Basu.
Against Rahul Gandhi. Only one person supported. Are you not going to that shows Rahul Gandhi is not acceptable in the country.
Hecklers.
Okay. Can I now speak?
Okay, Tehseen Poonawalla.
You know, I actually did not want to counter. I actually did not want to counter the professor till the point the professor started lying on your channel about Pandit Nehru and Mountbatten. I thought he has a right to say his point of view, which he does. There is no historical document, and Navika, I've said this on your channel before as well, to show this happened. In fact, and I've said this on your channel, the Prime Minister misled Parliament by saying Nehru was 13 out of the 15 Congress Pradesh chose Vallabhbhai Patel over Nehru. There is no historical document. The Congress Pradeshas or Mountbatten simply did not have the power to choose the Indian Prime Minister. There is simply no historical document or evidence of this. Having put that aside in the first context, let's now go on to the economic points that the professor raised. The professor, Rahul Gandhi, asked the professor, what is your hypothesis of your question? That is a very legitimate question, because when the Industrial Revolution took place in 1760, India contributed not 40% of the GDP, as the professor said, and quoted to Rahul Gandhi. I am quoting the professor. India contributed 23%. Come in here. Please, you have to give me a chance. You have to give me a chance. It's not only one-sided.
Come on, okay, let him complete his point and I will come to you.
Don't be a troll. India's GDP contribution was about 28%, not 40% as the professor said. Hence Rahul Gandhi's question, what is the hypothesis? At the end, when India came down post-independence, India's growth rate was -1%. Under Nehru, under the Hindu growth rate, which was rightly or wrongly called, India's growth rate exceeded to 3%. That is more than double the growth rate that Nehru achieved. Was this sufficient? No, it wasn't sufficient. Was this enough? No, it wasn't enough. But at the end of the day, Nehru's achievement
the point he makes is, was it below world average? The point he makes is, the point he makes is, 1 minute, 1 minute, the point he makes is,
Rahul Gandhi said that. Why he is not educated? Only Tehseen Poonawalla is much educated. That answer he could not say in a foreign country. Why Rahul Gandhi did not study that? Rahul Gandhi went unprepared.
Fair point made by Mr. Rajagopal.
I'll tell you.
Fair point.
You have chance of getting answers. I'll answer that. Rahul Gandhi should know that.
I'll
answer that. He is not educated. At least Tehseen Poonawalla is educated.
I will answer that.
Whatever he is defending Congress, you are doing very well. You are doing very well, Tehseen. The same approach should have been done by Rahul Gandhi in a foreign land.
We are waiting for the day he will be made the president of the
You should become Congress president.
That this 40% number is a false allegation.
From some of the best universities in the world. I am not.
That shows his ignorance.
That's not true.
That shows his ignorance today. Well, gentlemen, 1 minute. Okay.
7 are in support of.
Okay. All right. I'm getting it. Gaurav Bhatia.
I am not more educated than Rahul Gandhi.
Why are you so apologetic? Why are you so apologetic?
From better universities. It's the truth. I am not better educated.
Let me start by. Let me say this. Credit to Mr. PK Basu, because he was firing from a double-barrel gun. Why do I say double-barrel gun? Because the question was very pertinent. First, it was talking about the dynastic rule, which the Gandhi family believes in. And what is the response of Mr. Rahul Gandhi on dynasty? He said in the US, dynasty is a norm in India, insulting every Indian. Second, very importantly, he raised the question of per capita income and poverty. Now for poverty, Mr. Rahul Gandhi has already said poverty is a state of mind. But let me tell Mr. Rahul Gandhi, poverty is not a state of mind, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. It is the result of the misdeeds and corruption of the Congress governments. Now, Mr. Rahul Gandhi needs to understand that he cannot have a confrontationalist approach. People will ask tough questions. He as a leader has to give responses without getting disturbed about it. And I think as always, you know, whether it is the Nepalese embassy where he's seen copying a message from his mobile, or a cheat gate in the parliament, is looking at answers from the chit. And this is another very good example to show that actually he's not involved, he's not passionate about serving the people. This is all a mockery. And why do I say that? One more thing, as a parliamentarian, and I feel Mr. Rahul Gandhi's first duty is to be in the parliament and answer on Karti Chidambaram. He hasn't. Rather, he is in Singapore. So is Singapore more important than India itself, where people are waiting to hear from you? And that shows that here is a parliamentarian who's the president, but has actually asked 0 questions in the parliament, attendance below 40%, and he wishes to give direction to the Congress. God save Congress.
Well, Sumansi Raman, do you think Rahul Gandhi's statement was smart, or did he do another self-goal when he said, do you think Gandhis didn't play a role between 2004 and 2014? Because all this while, they kept saying that this was a government run by Manmohan Singh. What was the Gandhi's contribution? Was Sonia Gandhi running it from the National Advisory Council, a fact that she's wanted to distance herself from? Was it Rahul Gandhi who was running the government, making all the policies? Or was it really Manmohan Singh who was really running the government, or was he just the showcase Prime Minister?
So, should I answer that question?
Yes,
Navika, first of all, I
Manmohan
think,
Singh,
1 minute, that question is for me. I'm sorry,
that
question was for
with
me.
His hands tied behind his back. That is basically
it
what
was not for you. Hey,
he was running the government.
I'm glad,
with his hands tied
Navika,
behind
you brought
his back,
this man and made him talk. People can see the kind of person he is.
Exactly.
Unconstitutional body. It was an unconstitutional body.
I'm glad you brought him and made him talk.
Drive policy in a communist direction.
He likes to hear his own voice. I want to hear an alternate point of view, Suman Bhai.
No.
He doesn't want to hear an alternate point of view.
That question was for me.
Exactly.
Navika, 1 minute, Tessie, 1 minute.
Yeah, Suman Bhai,
Look,
sorry.
let's be very clear, Navika. This man has a completely different version of history. I'm quoting from an interview where he says, India ultimately threw off the shackles of colonial rule through military means.
You know, Sumanji, let's focus on Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Are you satisfied with the response of Mr. Rahul Gandhi
he said,
and answering about poverty and people per capita income? That is the main issue. Let's go on the question asked by Mr. P.K. Basu. So you think Rahul Gandhi's reply was satisfactory? He disowned all the Gandhians who've been Prime Minister. He only spoke about the era of 2004 to 14, which we know was riddled with corruption and scams.
Too much of scams.
Mr.
2G, CWG, too much of scams.
No, Mr. Bhatia, I have only one question for you.
UPA 2
was the Quit India movement an important movement?
Was patriotic.
No, Mr. Bhatia, please answer my question. Was the Quit India movement an important movement?
He did not say anything about it.
Rahul Gandhi is responsible for the scams, but not responsible for the good.
Okay, can I respond?
You guys pick and choose what
who was associated with the Congress is responsible for the scams.
Gentlemen, can we stop all talking at the same time, because nobody is audible? Sumansi Raman is making a point. Allow him to make a point.
I want to ask Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, does he believe that the Quit India movement was an important movement? That's what Mr. Basu feels. Does he agree with that? Is that the official line of BJP?
I will answer for myself.
Mr. Sumansi Raman, why don't you answer the question? Why don't you answer the question of the debate? The question of the debate is, Mr. Basu raised the question to Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Did Mr. Rahul Gandhi answer that question or not? That's what this debate is all about.
You are going to Quit India movement and there would be a movement very soon.
Are we discussing the independence history of India?
Yeah, you went to Nehru, sir.
Sir, are we discussing the independent struggle of India? Are we discussing the independent struggle of India, or are we discussing the limited point of what Mr. Basu asked Rahul Gandhi and whether Rahul Gandhi responded to that correctly or not?
View of history. He has got an extremely distorted view of history. His hatred for the family is coming
television
through.
viewers.
He keeps saying India did not develop as long as the family was in power.
No.
Okay,
Can I respond?
Yes, Mr. P.K. Basu. Professor Basu.
The reality is that during the Quit India movement, 1 lakh of Indians were joining the British Indian Armed Forces every month in August, September, October, November, December.
BJP agree with that this was an
100,000 Indians were joining the British Indian Armed Forces to fight for the British.
No, we are not getting into that. We are not getting. We are not discussing history. We are not discussing history.
In 2019.
Let me come back to Mr. Ashutosh. Let me come back to Mr. Ashutosh Sharma. Mr. Ashutosh Sharma, the limited point of this debate is there is a question that was asked by Professor Basu. Did Rahul Gandhi answer that question or not? The opinion is divided on it. Which side are you on?
So, no, my observation is slightly different. What I see is Professor Basu asking a question which is not very clear. Exactly. He made an observation and said for the question refer to my book, which he's basically trying to sell his book. And the answer that Rahul Gandhi gave was a rhetorical question. It does not mean that he is answering a question by a question. He gave an answer which was a rhetorical question, and that is what created so what we are simply saying here is confused.
Now, this is Suresh Nakwa.
Now, what we have here,
this is brilliant. When the people of a country ask a question, then a leader is supposed to answer. Does the leader have the option to say the question is not correct?
No,
does the leader have the option to say question theek nahi hai bhai?
It would have been very difficult for Mr. Chinese Gandhi. It would have been very difficult for Mr. Rahul Gandhi to comprehend the question in the first place, because in the same speech he is making two contradictory statements. On one side he is saying USA has power, Japan has power, and they are connected, and that is a problematic. On other side he says connect all the MRI machines. Tomorrow he will say connect all the X-ray machines. I mean, what is going on? He is supposed to be a prime ministerial candidate. Allegedly.
Can I counter it after?
Let me make this point. Leave aside the book. Leave aside Mr. P.K. Basu.
Yeah.
As a member of the audience, his question is very pertinent and very direct. He is questioning the dynastic rule. There have been prime ministers from one family, and the progress of our country has not been, the way it should have been. Whether it is people living below poverty line or per capita income, that's the question. It was very clear. Let me formulate my point. I did not interrupt you. I think the question was very clear. Tehsil did try his best, and I think he was far more effective than Mr. Rahul Gandhi.
Why are you worried?
This is my opinion. You can't disentitle me.
If somebody is giving you a compliment that you were clear, you were clear and lucid, why are you worried about taking the compliment?
Navika, fine.
In the Congress, they are not allowed to take compliments.
But the point is this: I would have expected Mr. Rahul Gandhi should have given some numbers or explained that India has progressed during the regimes of the Congress Prime Minister. Rather, as I said, he insulted the person who was asking a very important question. Sometimes you disagree with people, but a leader needs to have that kind of mettle to answer and to absorb. Mr. Rahul Gandhi completely failed, and that is why 7 out of 8 callers said that, he was actually looking delusional to me.
Look at the poll on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. We've asked a simple question. Was Rahul Gandhi's answer satisfactory or not? We have asked a simple question on our poll. Was Rahul Gandhi's answer satisfactory or not? Overwhelming majority of people feel it wasn't satisfactory. It wasn't satisfactory. So Asif Bhamla, before I come across to you, let's take a look at that video. It's a simple exchange. Let's look at that video. Let's go through the video. Let's see the question that Professor Basu asked Rahul Gandhi. And just what did Rahul Gandhi respond? Bhamla Sahab, just hold on. Listen to that exchange, because people want to see whether Rahul Gandhi actually understood and took the question, and did he respond fairly, squarely, and gave a smart reply or not. Listen into that video.
My name is P.K. Basu. I'm the author of a book called Asia Reborn, the first comprehensive economic and political history of the whole of Asia. And my question is this. I also teach economic history to students in several business schools. My question is this: why is it that during the years that your family ruled India, India's per capita income was growing less than the world average? And yet, in the years since your family relinquished the Prime Ministership of India, India's per capita income has grown substantially faster than the world average.
Okay, thank you. That's a very sharp, succinct question. So,
and what is your hypothesis?
I asked you the question. I'm here to ask the question.
That's quite...
My hypothesis is in my book. Please read the book. It's called Asia Reborn.
I mean, you're giving a hell of a lot of power to one family.
No,
right?
See,
let me give you
one
sec. Let me give you an alternative.
So, since you asked me back a question, let me just elaborate on the question a bit. At the point of independence, India's per capita income was one of the lowest in the world. India's life expectancy at birth was 32 years, the lowest in the world. Africa's average was 38. So, when you are the poorest country in the world, you should be growing faster than the world average in order to close the gap with the rest of the world.
May interrupt.
And unfortunately, during the period of your family's rule,
thank you very much,
India did
Mr.
not
Basu.
achieve that.
Thank you.
That's the question. Why?
Thank you. I mean, there was a sharp question. You can either decide to take it or not.
I can take it if you want.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Do you agree? First of all, do you agree that India is a success today?
Of course.
You do.
A relative success since your family relinquished the Prime Ministership. Yes.
So
since then, not before.
So you're saying, for example, that I had absolutely no role in Indian politics from 2004 to today. You're saying that? Well, make up your mind. Either I have a role or I don't have a role. You can't give me both options.
Please tell us what your role was.
Okay, I'm gonna.
The point is that
if I may, let's not have this dialogue. If I may.
Could you answer the question? I mean, the question is.
May I? Okay, please.
Is there an answer to the question?
Okay.
Yes. Please answer the question.
Yes, I've answered the question.
Crisp, clear question.
Hello. I've answered the question. I've answered the question.
All right.
Well, the jury is out on whether Rahul Gandhi answered the question or not. One part, he actually says, you're giving a whole lot of importance to one single family. In the other part of the question, he says, make up your mind whether we as a family did anything between 2004 and 2014 or not. Asif Bhamla, why don't you respond? Which side is Rahul Gandhi on? And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, there is another side to this video because the Congress has put out another version of this video. In just a bit from now, I'll play out the Congress version of this video. Take a look at that video as well. Make up your mind which is the right video. We will play out that video. But going across to Asif Bhamla, Rahul Gandhi, which side is he on? Is the family important or is it not important?
एक तो आपका स्वागत है, पीके आए हैं बासु जी, आप का स्वागत है इधर। मेरा ये कहना है कि बासु जी has been very uncharitable to the Congress. I think the way he has spoken, I have seen the version on RG Twitter handle, and I think it shows an elaborate version, and it shows the two versions. You highlighted Basu, and you've made his version so high, and the other gentleman you've cut off his version. So firstly, and secondly, now Gaurav Bhatia, you don't need to anymore be in the debate because we have Mr. Basu who's already going to defend the BJP.
No,
Secondly,
I would continue exposing.
So Professor Basu, the allegation against you is that you are a BJP bhakt and you are a Rahul Gandhi baiter. So tell me, what are your political leanings, Professor Basu? Because now fingers are being pointed at your political leanings. Professor Basu, would you like to tell the country that's looking at your political leanings?
अरे गौरव भाटिया, आपकी क्या जरूरत है? अभी बासु जी से हम बात करेंगे।
हाँ, ठीक है, मैं बात कर रहा हूँ।
We have Basuji, we can talk to him.
Yes, thank you. So,
And ऐसा लग रहा है कि कांग्रेस 50 साल में कुछ किया ही नहीं उन्होंने.
नहीं, मैंने बोला है. I have said very clearly that P.V. Narasimha Rao brought about dramatic change in the country. He not only solved the economic problems created by Rajiv Gandhi,
P.V. Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister of which political party, Basu?
He solved
I want to ask you a question.
Of which party?
P.V. Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister of which political party?
Supposedly was a
So Asim Bamla, he's not criticizing the Congress. He has a problem with the Gandhi family. Is that right? Is that right? Is that right, Professor
Basu? Congress.
He is come here to propagate.
Navika, you have a problem with Mahatma Gandhi also.
Navika, he is not to propagate his books. You are giving him TRP on national TV today.
Okay, allow Professor Basu to speak. Professor Basu, come clean. Professor Basu, come clean on your political leanings. 1 minute. No, the moot point now is the political leanings of Professor Basu. Professor Basu, what are your political leanings?
I have dedicated my book to 14 makers of modern Asia.
You don't have to
One
ask him,
of those
Navika.
14 is Mahatma Gandhi.
You should
the other
tell
is
Gaurav
Netaji
Bhatia
Subhash
to
Chandra
leave the
Bose.
debate.
I have also dedicated the book to P. Narasimha Rao. So,
I want to comment.
Two things.
The current Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi.
He called Mahatma Gandhi.
All right.
He says Gandhi
All
was
right.
recruiting soldiers.
Gentlemen, hold your thoughts. I've got the second version of the video. The version that the Congress party has put out. Let's look at that version and let's then debate the conclusions that the Congress version of the video actually tries to draw. Let's look at that version.
Yes. Listen, I'm going to leave it at this. Okay. I'd like to come over to this group. Sir, go ahead, please.
Yes,
short, succinct question.
Yes, I'll make it very fast. Yes, my name is Anish Mishra. Okay, the thing is, I would like to start by saying that I'm a great admirer of your great-grandfather, Jawaharlal Nehru, and I think all the good things that whatever India is today is because of the Indian Congress Party. And if you look at the Constitution of India, your party has very successfully put in the values of the Congress Party into the Constitution of India.
You're both going to extremes, right? I mean, give me something in the middle.
Sir, Mr. Gandhi.
I mean, he's saying, I'm the cause of every single problem.
Yeah.
And you're saying, I'm the cause of every single solution. I mean, this is crazy.
Mr. Gandhi, no, whatever there's left to be proud of India today is because of the Congress Party. Okay, the thing is that, okay, I want to talk about the idea of India, which you spoke that it's being threatened by the...
Sorry, can you please ask your question?
Yes. Okay, my question is that in one of your speech, very correctly you said that India, we should not learn the wrong things from Pakistan. And if you look at today, India can be compared to what Ziaul Haq is. India is living in the era of Ziaul Haq. In fact, when they look at us, they say that we thought we were liberal, secular democracy. Today, you turn out to be the same as us. So my question is this: is that if you come back to power, if you become the Prime Minister of India, how are you going to undo the damage that has been done upon India? All I want is that I want India to go back to what it was before Mr. Modi became Prime Minister. And I want to give you, just to conclude, I want to give you one suggestion to put in your manifesto. In the next election, you put this in your manifesto called Restoring India. Because called Restoring India.
Restoring India.
Yes, because my India has been lost. When I look at the map, I can't find my India anymore. And I want you to... yes, sir. My India is lost. I want you to give India back to me. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Rahul.
See, this conversation, right, shows you the polarization.
It does.
That gentleman thinks that nothing has ever been done by the Congress Party. This gentleman thinks that everything has been done by the Congress Party. Let me tell you what the truth is. India's success is hugely because of India's people. However, anybody in this room who thinks that the Congress party is not part of that success. Anybody who thinks that gaining independence was not part of that success, that one man, one vote, which the RSS opposed, was not part of that success. Anybody that thinks Green Revolution was not part of that success, anybody thinks telecoms revolution was not part of that success, anybody that thinks the liberalization wasn't part of the success, anybody that thinks rights-based paradigm wasn't part of the success, needs to write a new book.
So, Professor Basu, you were present at that event. You agree with the video put out by the Congress party? Is that the way it actually happened at the event?
Well,
Obviously,
the Congress
Navika,
party video...
Can there be a morphed video on a Twitter handle? Navika?
The Congress party video...
Can you have a morphed video on a Twitter handle?
Is there a question that I can answer? So,
yes, they can have mock photographs.
What the Congress party video did was to splice two parts of the evening to eliminate
the video
all the hemming and hawing by
the video we showed
Rahul
was
Gandhi,
not the Congress video, it was actually the event video. You would like to go on to the Congress Twitter handle and look at the Congress spliced and diced video which Professor Basu is talking about.
Video.
Yes, Professor Basu.
Navika,
yes, so it was a doctored video, spliced and diced, and basically trying to demonstrate that Rahul Gandhi is somehow very witty and somehow very capable of answering questions quickly, because his hemming and hawing was all edited out. That is basically, in the era of fake news, this is classic doctoring. That's all that they have done. They have doctored the video and tried to put forward a version of events that did not happen.
Confident and candid.
I'll tell you what doctoring is.
Okay. Mr. Basu,
Professor Basu,
I think
please,
he was very candid, very articulate,
Professor
very
Basu,
eloquent.
This is Asif Bamla speaking.
Confident. Professor Basu, what is
absolutely fine. What was wrong with the answer,
let me tell
Navika?
you. Professor Basu, what is doctoring? Let me tell you.
Navika,
okay, Asif Bamla is making a point before I...
In fact, I need to make a point. I've been waiting. Please ask Asif to hold on. Professor Basu, what is bamboo?
In fact, the video that he showed now shows Rahul Gandhi to be very confident, very eloquent, and very candid, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Now,
and I guess
I won't get a chance to speak otherwise.
Can I come?
Please, if you understood your
The
point.
good thing is that on Times Now viewers have had an opportunity to see the full video. But if you go to
Professor, can I talk now?
Navika,
Or you not going to let me talk? You made your points.
Navika.
Or you don't want another point of view?
Bad voice, Navika.
Professor,
all you will see.
What is slicing? I'll tell you. I'll explain to you what is slicing.
So can I ask my director to also fish out the Congress video? Let's look at the Congress video as well.
The work of the dirty tricks department of Congress.
Can you please take out the Congress video as well?
Yeah, Navika, you will get to know that.
Okay, let's take a look at the Congress video. Let's take a look at the Congress video. Let's take 1 minute. Let's take a look at the Congress video. Let's take a look at the Congress video.
My name is P.K. Basu. I'm the author of a book called Asia Reborn, the first comprehensive economic and political history of the whole of Asia. And my question is this: why is it that during the years that your family ruled India, India's per capita income was growing less than the world average? And yet, in the years since your family relinquished the Prime Ministership of India, India's per capita income has grown substantially faster than the world average.
That I'm a great admirer of your great-grandfather Jawaharlal Nehru, and I think all the good things that whatever India is today is because of the Indian Congress Party. And if you look at the Constitution of India, your party has very successfully put in the values of the Congress Party into the Constitution of India.
You're both going to extremes, right? I mean, Give me something in the middle.
So, Mr. Gandhi.
So there comes the edited version. There comes the edited version. You've seen every version on Times Now tonight. And Gaurav Bhatia, you saw the edited version, you've seen the unedited version, you've seen the Congress version. What's your view?
They're trying to make a hero out of a comedian. And this kind
That's
of...
unfair.
That's unfair. No, it's not unfair.
He's a national president. He's a national president.
So what?
You can't call him a comedian.
No, I'll tell you why. You cannot defraud the people of the country. You cannot put such videos. If you indulge in slicing and dicing, you are cheating the people of the country. And I think a cheat would have no place in Indian polity. I make a serious charge, and Tehseen should answer. Is it expected out of the Congress party to slice and dice and then, change the entire narrative of the program? Second, Mr. P.K. Basu, whether he is a sympathizer of X party, Y party, doesn't matter. He asked a very pointed question. Mr. Rahul Gandhi did not satisfactorily respond to that question. That is the gist of the discussion tonight.
Tehseen Poonawalla, was the Congress video spliced and diced or not?
Not.
It was not.
No, and
it was not. We played both the videos, and you still think so?
Absolutely. I'll tell you why.
No, why did the response of Mr. Rahul Gandhi not shown in the video? Just answer that. Yes, all time is yours.
I'll answer it. Because the Congress party video is showing the highlights of the event. Now you can choose to put what you want, the highlights of the event. That was the highlights of it. Now you can have it.
The explanation, the explanation is highlights.
Very unfair.
Explanation.
Please, I am putting you. I have not got a chance to speak.
Yeah.
I don't get a chance.
Rahul Gandhi went to Chinese embassy.
What does that have to do with this?
Referring to Mr. Basu when he said this
slicing and dicing.
Slicing it started from Rahul Gandhi.
Okay.
Because he
Ashutosh Mishra.
The problem with Rahul in this whole case was Rahul does not have secretaries to tell him all the facts and figures. Otherwise, he would have known. Otherwise, he would have known that 16 years of Jawaharlal Nehru, we were growing faster than the world.
Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the poll is out there. The poll is out there, and Professor Basu, you were present there. The explanation coming from Tehseen Poonawalla is that this is not spliced and diced video. This is only a highlights video. This is a different way of looking at it. But whichever way you look at it, Professor Basu, the fact is the poll is out on your screens. People feel Rahul Gandhi, an overwhelming number of people feel Rahul Gandhi clearly did not give satisfactory answers to the questions raised by Professor Basu. Professor Basu, thank you very much for joining us from Singapore, and thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on this debate. Raga Interrogated. It's the talking point on social media. Go across to our Twitter handle, to our website timesnow.tv, and we've got all the 3 versions of the video. Tune in, log in, and watch all the videos. Make up your mind, because this is a debate for you to be the judge on, dear viewers. Thank you very much for joining me on this special edition of the News Hour.
The News Hour Special Edition.